Okay, good afternoon everyone. Welcome to today's press conference previewing the Premier League game tomorrow. If you'd like a question today, please do raise your hand and we'll get round to as many of you as we can. We're going to begin with Dharmesh from Sky Sports News. When you come online, Dharmesh, please unmute yourself and away you go.
Hi there, Thomas. Hope you're well. Can we just start off with the team news, and if your selection will have one eye potentially on the FA Cup final on Saturday?
No, we just have an eye on the players' workload and on the statistics that we have. Who is overloaded, maybe overloaded in high speed, and from that we will decide who's in a risk of injury. Everybody who is not in a risk of injury, we will be available for the game. Is not to manage the game on Saturday now. Now is the time to manage the game on Wednesday. We're in the middle of a race for top 4 and cannot judge games.
I just want to ask you about, there's lots of talk on the Champions League venue for the game against Manchester City. Do you have a preference where you'd like that game to be played?
No, absolutely not. The preference is to play it and to arrive wherever is necessary to arrive, and I can guarantee you that we will arrive. The good thing for me is that we have top guys who are on the subject in talks, I think, with UEFA and with everybody who is involved in that decision. And this is so good for me because the people know what they are doing, and then they will inform us when there is a decision to be informed about, and then we adapt to whatever it is.
Thomas, it's been an incredible start to your managerial career at Chelsea. You received a great deal of praise for the job you've done. I just wanted to ask you how much credit you feel is also due to your predecessor, Frank Lampard.
Yeah, for sure. You can only arrive in a final. In FA Cup or in a final of Champions League if you make it to the group stage, and Frank had an amazing record in group stage of Champions League. He won all FA Cup games that were there to win, so this lays the foundation to arrive in the finals, and I will never forget it. It's like this, and there's this, we don't feel ashamed or any fear to speak it out loud. It's the way it is. And it felt like this in the first day when I came in here. I was well aware that Frank is created his own legacy here at Chelsea, well deserved as a player, and then he started to try to even make his legacy bigger as a coach. And still, it had nothing to do with me. But we are well aware that we stepped in the half of the season and tried to fulfill the job that he has begun.
Last couple from me, Thomas. Have you had any communication with Frank Lampard since you came into the role?
No, just a message that I talked about very early in the first week, where he wished me all the best, and was a very, very nice and a very polite and a message that I was absolutely very happy about. It was and showed me that Frank is like what you see from the outside, also inside. He is one of the legacies and one of the big players and the big figures, key figures of this club. And he resembles everything that you, when you think about Chelsea, you think about Frank Lampard and about his way, the way how he played football, and obviously that shows his character. And the message was exactly like this, and was a pleasure to receive. So we had this quick chat after 1-2 days when I arrived, but since then, no more.
Just finally, with regard to Arsenal, does their position in the league surprise you? And as a fellow manager, can you allow yourself to feel a little bit for Mikel Arteta and what he's going through?
Well, I know what I'm going through when I don't win, and when we don't win. This is the most horrible situation for any coach in the world. You can be very sure about this. No matter if you train in academy or in professional football, that will never change, or in amateur leagues, that will never change. It's the worst feeling. It's the worst feeling on the weekends or during a week. So this is pretty much the same for everybody. We are fully focused on ourselves. This is not on me to comment any situation. For me, Arsenal, if I'm surprised when I experience this league, nothing surprises me anymore, because anything can happen here. You can catch a streak, and you can get caught in any match if you're not fully aware on your top level. So this is what we signed up for, and this is where we are in the toughest competition in Europe, in Premier League. And well, this is a big match, because Arsenal is one of the biggest clubs in Europe still, and we will prepare for our best level, which we will absolutely need to succeed our run.
Anita, PLP.
Afternoon, Thomas.
Hi.
I know you touched on team news. I was just hoping for a bit of clarification, please. Mateo Kovacic, you said it might be tight for Arsenal. Is it looking like he could be ready for tomorrow?
No, not ready for tomorrow. We have to postpone it to Wembley. The race, his personal race, is on to make it to the squad to Wembley.
And equally, Andreas Christensen, how serious was his injury?
It was better than we feared, much better. The images yesterday, so we hope also for one of the two Leicester games that he can come back. But will be also a tough one. But the season is not finished for him, hopefully. So we have realistic hopes that he can latest come back against Aston Villa.
You touched on Frank laying the foundations before you came in, but
Sure.
When you look at the table, Chelsea were 9th when you joined. You're now 3rd with 3 games remaining. I just wondered, did you expect such a quick turnaround in less than 5 months?
I'm not sure if you believe me, but I did not expect too much in any direction. I expected a tough challenge, and I felt the expectations of the club, and I was a bit concerned about the high expectations, but we did not at the same time limit ourselves with maybe too low expectations. So that's why normally I'm careful also myself to not lead to any direction with my own expectations, to let the things come to us and to dive into things and to concentrate on the process, and not to think too much where this all will end, because sometimes maybe you wish for too much, or you wish for not enough. Maybe you set the bar too low, even with your expectations. So that's why normally I have not too many expectations when I start working with a team. And trying to put the bar higher and higher every day, and to take care about the process, and the results hopefully and normally take care about themselves. This is what we try.
After Arsenal, of course, you've got the FA Cup final and then a huge game against Leicester in that race for the top 4, and then of course you've got the Champions League final later in the month. Would you say these are the biggest 3 weeks of your managerial career?
Well, some pretty exciting ones for sure. The biggest, I don't know, because I'm not so good in comparing, and every situation in any club and in any part of my career had its ups and downs, and were also exciting situations where we come from, and but a pretty tight schedule and fantastic experience to arrive now in the, like you said, in the last 3 weeks, and having so much to fight for. So now it's on us to make it, to bring it to the end, to go the last step, and don't be just participate in the final. This is now the absolute challenge, and in the middle of it, we're in the race for top 4. Maybe a super important step we have to take there. To qualify us for Champions League next season. So there are a lot of targets to reach, and it is exciting. It is demanding. It's also sometimes tiring, but overall, it's the best way to finish a season.
George, 5 Live.
Thanks, Adrian. Thomas, hello. You mentioned the expectations there from the club. Surely they didn't expect you to make a Champions League final and an FA Cup final and be 3rd in the league after 5 months?
Well, maybe they did not expect, but they did also not say we will not make it. So they did a change because they felt they needed a change, but they were very convinced about the quality and the mentality of the team. So this was the target to put everything out and let the players shine and push them to their limits. And we know very well that you need a little bit of luck and you need a momentum, and we catched all that. So we're in the middle of the race to top 4, and like you said, we reached 2 finals. No, it was not the demand from the club from the first day. To me, it was not the expectation that we have to reach all this and fulfill all categories or whatever. But it was also not. That anybody told me we don't care for any of these competitions. We agreed pretty soon that if we play with Chelsea any competition, we play the competition to win it. This club is built and this club is now built to win games and win competitions, win games consistently. This is what we agreed on in pretty much the first minute of our talks. And from there we tried everything, and until now we haven't won nothing. And it does not help if we talk about it. We have to play 2 finals, and we have to end up in the top 4. This is still the challenge, and it's not finished.
Do you know how many clean sheets you've got in your 25 games? It's 18. I mean, how have you pulled that off, considering you're playing every 3 matches? How have you trained that with your players, coached your players to do that?
We train it a lot, and if we train it, we train a lot in the video room, in video sessions, and sometimes 5 minutes is enough on the field to have an understanding of some details and of some situations where we can do maybe better or improve. And like I said, we do a lot in the video rooms, because you can also do training if the players are open for it, if they understand it, if they have a general understanding of how we want to defend. But it was an easy one. From the first minute of the first game, we defended very brave, very courageous, and with a huge solidarity in the team. So I had the feeling everybody was fully involved from the first minute of the Wolverhampton game, and that never stopped. It's a big team effort how we defend. It's a huge solidarity between everybody. It is allowed to do mistakes because there's always somebody there to cover, and from there the details we did. In the video room or spend some minutes on the field. But football is a very, very complex game. So our training is about, more or less, we try to mirror everything on the pitch, like offensive and defensive complex situations, and from there on we go and try to help everybody individually and push the team as a whole. And the praises for the team, including the goalkeepers, and the effort that we put in defending.
Victoire.
Hello, Thomas.
Hello.
This is Sport Africa. So I'd like to speak about one player in particular, and that is Edouard Mendy, who's been quite impressive throughout the season and a key in Chelsea's success. How do you assess his performance, his progression, and what he brings to the group? And second question, coming from League One to Premier League is quite a big step. How do you see him evolving and dealing with all this success, but also the pressure and expectations on him?
Yeah, I think we cannot praise him enough, because he's doing fantastic. It's like you say, he comes not only from Ligue 1 to Premier League, he comes also from a club where he was not used to play every 3 days, to a club where the schedule is like every 3-4 days, always a match, and the concentration level is incredible high that you have to deliver as a goalkeeper on his position. In general, the goalkeepers with their goalkeeper staff and the goalkeepers between all 3 goalkeepers is a fantastic atmosphere. They're all fantastic sports guys, Willy Caballero, Kepa, and of course Edu. All three guys are fantastic guys, really examples of sportsmanship, of true commitment to team sports. And we're very happy to have Edu on such a good run. He's very calm, he's a very humble and a very friendly person. And this calmness and helps him during matches, I think, to influence also the defenders, and it's nice. It's really, like I said, he's a part of a goalkeeper group that is outstanding, and everybody in the team wishes the best to everybody of all three goalkeepers, and we are very happy because without strong guys in the goal, you cannot win games.
Last two, Nick Purell and James to finish. Nick.
Hi Thomas, just on Matteo and Andreas. Can you just give us a word on how influential they've been for you so far this season? And obviously, I'm sure everyone's hoping that they'll be ready in time for the for the final, because that would be cruel for anyone, wouldn't it, to miss out to injury. Selections.
I mean, Billy Gilmore had to step up now because we miss Kova so much, and we play normally always with a double six. So we were constantly rotating between N'Golo, Shorshi and Kova. Once we missed Kova now for so many games, so many weeks, it was on Billy to step up, and I was very happy that he could deliver when it was needed. So full credit for that, but Kova is a big loss with his ability to drive with balls, with his speed on the ball, without the ball, and Kova is such a positive character, such a unique player and a genuine fighter on whom you can always rely in training and in games. Has big experience, although he's still young. So we really miss him. He was a good match with Shorshi and with NG in all combinations. So yeah, it's a big miss, and I can't wait until he's back in full team training. He did now some steps in the right direction, and I hope he can join team training after our game against Arsenal. The same with Andreas. Andreas was crucial in the matches where he played now. We missed him then for some matches around the Porto game, I think, because of hamstring problems. And now it's he has a tendon problem, and so he was crucial in the back three. He gave us a lot of options because he can play all three positions, and he's very calm, and don't misjudge him by being calm. He is a very tough one to play against. He uses his body very well. He's very strong in individual duels. He's good on the ball, so I think that the role in the back three suits him very, very good, and I was very impressed by his performances. Now we were a bit relieved yesterday when we had when the images were given and were not like what we expected in the worst case. So we have realistic hopes that season is not finished for him as well, and this is very, very important.
Last question in the TV section, James at TalkSport.
Thomas, we spoke before the Real Madrid match, and you said that sometimes the next level is to actually keep the current level that you're playing at. Is that the case now? Is that the challenge that you set to your players, maintaining the standards you're setting?
Yes, and a challenge for the coach to not disturb them. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Of course, we are very happy that we can rely on our fitness, for example, in this stage of the season. When we see the data after the Madrid game and again after the Man City game with only two days in between to recover, that was very impressive. And it's a good feeling to rely on our fitness, to rely on our squad in terms of quality, but also in terms of spirit, of fighting spirit, and of mentality. We showed a lot of personality in the last games, and I stick with what I said. Sometimes if the pressure mounts and increases all the time, it can be a huge next step to keep the level up, and this is what we do in the moment, and yeah, this is what also the surrounding forces us to do, because all 3 challenges are big. We are in the middle of the race to top 4. We have 2 finals to come, and you can only achieve it if you're like on a consistently high level, mentally, physically, with a good atmosphere. And this is what we try to keep now. But we do very, very good, and I think the team feels it. Nobody is allowed now to drop 1%, and because that is what makes it special right now. And I just can repeat myself, it's not finished. It's not the time for praise. It's not the time for reflection. It's the time to continue and finish the jobs.
And just finally from me, Thomas, I know you've spoken a lot about Timo Werner this season. He had another 2 goals ruled out for offside on Saturday. Are you happy with the attitude and the willingness he's showing to want to score goals, or is there a little bit of frustration at the frequency which he's straying offside?
No frustration so far. We can improve on that. We will improve on that. He will learn from that. So maybe to not take too much risk, to maybe take a bit more care about his starting position, and we will. There's room for improvement, but still, it's one of his strengths to play on the edge, to give our opponent defenders always something to think about, how high the line is, how deep you have to drop because of his speed. And don't forget, he was again the guy who gave the assist in the last minute, or in the last minute of extra time. So he was again directly involved with a short run, a 1-on-1, and a good cutback. So this is for me the most important. He is involved in our chances, and still room, like I said, for improvement. That's the way you want it to have.
Okay, that's the end of the broadcast section. We're now going to do the newspaper.